Welcome race fans to the V8 Veterans round number 5 split 2 tonight on a replay. Thanks to Quantum Tint Solutions. We are at Sandown International Motor Raceway for tonight's race. Let's head straight down to the track now as the drivers prepare for this race tonight. And 200 kilometres around this famous Sandown circuit as they start to grid up for us. Let's take it out of the racetrack. So they will start on the grid positions tonight. Rick Sibber starts from pole position with Simon Hedeshield starting from P2 on the grid. Rick Feigl will round out the second row with Chris Barrage, Crosby and Quain off the third row with Griffiths, Garbutt, Riali and McMillan down there in P10 on the grid. Tim Harris will start from 11th tonight alongside Matthew Munday, P12. 13th on the grid will be none other than Hillel Caesar tonight with Blanchard next to him, Dibatito and Sipple off the 8th row with Hollis and Weston down there in 18th place. Gretchen McMillan rounding out your top 20. Healy starts from 21st tonight with Darren Goosey, Pitt and Peck just behind in 24th position. 25th on the grid tonight is Latham with Munro, Barella and Lecromp down there in 28th with Jason Dunn. Roy Clark running out your top 30. Jason Mikowski starts from 31st with Hazy. Boyce Lovehouse at the back in race control. Ed Cullens there as well. Let's get set for racing here from Sandown as the final drivers just grid up for us now. Welcome, my name is Luke. This is RACESTARS TV. Welcome aboard for round number 5 of the V8 Veterans split number 2. As the cars settle on the grid now, you can hear the idling away of these V8 motor cars. Getting set for action, 65 laps around this circuit tonight. We're seeing quite a variance in lap times across qualifying too. But in the race there will be a lot of fuel saving, there will be a lot of strategy that is part of this, with obviously 2 fuel stops being the key factor tonight. Keep an eye out for that as we look down this grid on a minute and a half pause at the moment, just waiting for our final driver Riali to hit the lane, and then we're ready to go. There he is now. So all drivers set in their cars and we are set for a start here from Sandown Motor Raceway. In about 9 seconds time you hear the revs rise and we'll get underway. As you can hear someone just bringing the revs up nice and slowly there. Good shot of the grid, the crowd's in. All the horses are put in the stables, but the horsepower is out on the racetrack. We wait for a start. Let's hope it's a good, clean one. From the get-go, we wait for the green. It's a long hold. They get away well. Sibber made a very good start. Hedeshield got away as well. Down the order, you can see them already 3-4 wide as they grate and make plenty of gains. Down through the first corner, though, it's Sibber out in front. Rick Feig is getting himself involved already. We've got a bit of, oh dear, one of the HSR cars has exited stage left. That's Garbutt off into the barrier down there at turn 2. Everyone else got through cleanly. I think Shannon McMillan might have also been involved in that. So yeah, McMillan's off in the fence as well. Not an ideal start for the Wodonga Carson Parts car, number 30 or 33rd position for the number 30, and he's stuck down there. He's trying to get out. Rick Sibber's made the perfect start out in front as he heads down through the S's for the first time. Hedeshield and Chase, and it's Feiger, Crosby, Quaney, Barrage, Griffiths. There we go. Oh, we got another big spin in the background there. One of the juice cars went for a big excursion as someone else cuts across the grass. Gee whiz, they're letting their hair down in this opening lap of this race tonight. No love lost. Matty Monday's in the thick of things too, as Harris and Blanchard chase him down. Hillel Caesar, Sipple, McMillan and Goosey further back in now in 15th place, made up 7 positions off the opening lap. Latham and Dibatito behind him. No one in the lane so far. I think some of those damaged cars might have to come through. Rick Sibber still leads out in front by 0.8 of a second. He moves away very nicely. Hey Sips, hey Viger. Everyone else is starting to just get involved now in the chat. G'day, welcome aboard tonight for this round number 5. G'day Keith, how are you my friend? As we just watched Crosby there, just dropping back already. The field spread is already around 3.1 seconds, first back to 4th position. They won't want to let the top guys get away too quickly in this race. Riali in 8th place as well, chasing down Griffiths and Barrage. You're right on board with him down through these famous S's, then getting it all stopped, rotated to the left, and then squeeze on the throttle under the Penrite side. Try not to light up those rear tyres because you will need them in this race tonight. And they will rip through the laps tonight, but it is still a long way to go. 65 laps. There is the gap out in front, as you can see the top 5 in fact, now covered by nearly 4 seconds. So that is stretching out big time Further back in the pack, Halil Caesar's made up 1 position to 12th. He's tucked in behind Blanchard, and also Tim Harris is there in the locked on lads racing car. Great livery on that car. He's got Blanchard trying to hone in on the back of him. The gap between those two, half a second. Halil Caesar only 2/10 off the back of Blanchard. You can see Halil also getting his sights set on the back of the Holden Commodore of Blanchard to try and make an overtake. We've got Mikowski off the track. We're going very slowly there, trying to avoid some fast passing cars. I wonder if he's had a little bit of a spin at turn 1 or 2 down there. He's now recovering, but he is going quite slow. Lacombe having a bit of a look at him. Also Kelleher and Hollis behind. Then you got Michael Hayes back in 31st place with Boyce on his tail. And then a couple of drivers that lost out at the start. Dave Garbutt now in 33rd place has lost 25 positions, and 24 positions for this man. Did keep the car running. Shannon McMillan drops right to the back of the pack. Sibra does a new fastest lap of the race and continues to lead this race. We've got more cars off. Oh, there's carnage between Healy and I think Mikowski might be involved in this one. Is he? There's someone stuck in the fence back there trying to pick up which car it is. It may be Simon Pitt. It is, and he's got big damage too. So Pitty's gone around and has got the rear assembly ripped completely off that car. Gretsch and Healy both come into the pits. Maybe to do with that incident. We didn't see it. We just saw the aftermath, but definitely as Pitty carries on with the damage, there was a couple of cars at least getting together down there at the end of lap 3, as we see now Rick out in front, 1.9 seconds, stretching that out to almost a 2-second margin over Header Shield now, and Viger keeping in check as well. Viger giving us the details once again tonight, and for the fuel saving, the fuel strategy, all that sort of thing with the numbers for Sandown. 65 laps, starting tank is 50 litres, so you get about 20 laps out of that opening tank of fuel with a fuel capacity of 77%. So 31 laps once you fill it right up. So the critical laps tonight, lap 3 and 34. And his max fuel burn was around 2.5 litres per lap. So not too bad. In fact, it's not the most uneconomical race circuit, as Barrage in the M1 car bounced off the curb and then brought it back into check. Behind him, Robbie Griffiths in the Fishy Motorsports entry. He has Reali tucked up behind him and looking menacing as Viger's on the radio. We might listen in, see if we can just crank up a little bit of that audio and see what they're chatting about. Clarkey back in the mix too now, starting to put some pressure on Richard Barella. Will ride on board with Mr. Clark for a little bit. Nice smooth overtake there for Clark, moves himself up into 19th place now, and his next target will be Scott Weston, but there's a big gap between Weston and Clark, so 18th to 19th, there's your margin. It's around 7.9 seconds, so is the spread that we've got already in this race. Tim Nichols in the house, Jeff Thomas as well. Good evening, everyone. As we plug in here from Sandown, we virtually plug in for the race tonight. There's Jason Dunn, 23rd position, not sporting a livery on that car. Chasing now Will Munro and then Mark Peck just in front as well. A couple of these liveries, I think, getting ready for retro round. Let's hope they've left them on the car for this replayed broadcast. There's the gap at the front, 1.6, just come down slightly now on lap 6 of this race. 1/10 distant coming up shortly, and well, Header Shield needs to try and run with him at least to the first pit stop phase. We're thinking probably lap 20 when we see these cars come into the pits. There's the gap looking back, so down to 1.5 now. He's just taken another little bit of a nibble at the margin. Crossing the line there, he was 0.6 quicker, P2 over Rick Sibber at the front. I wonder if Rick's just backed off slightly, trying to save some fuel now. And he figures he can't break away from the pack, so why try and push the tyres too hard at this early stage? The cameraman, they're just taking some happy snaps. You can just see as they go into the corner. Some good shots there from our iRacing cameraman, of course. It's Marshall standing by as well. As we watch back further in the pack, Halil Caesar now all over the back of Blanchard. See if he can make a move as they get onto the back straight, turning down on the front splitter. And he hones in. He didn't get the best exit out of the corner onto the back straight. He's just dropped back 3-4 car lengths. And now try and carry as much speed as he can into the braking zone. He's got a good toe. He's bringing Matty McMillan along with him as well as they throw themselves through these S's of commitment down into the left-hander once again and back into the car, just complaining slightly for Caesar as he turned it in. Matt McMillan, then Goosey in behind him. Then you can see Troy Sipple, Constantine Solutions, Pecky Performance Racing Car, currently in 15th place. One of my favourite liveries, as I say every time. There it is, look at that. Get some good overhead shots of it here at Sandown, and that is a paint job and a half. That looks incredible, doesn't it? So Pecky in 15th, sorry, Sipple in 15th, up 1 position. Goosey in front of him, up 8 positions now into the top 14. So the Old Mates and Sons car doing very well. He's not the top Old Mate and Sons in the race, so Quaney 57 holding on to that 5th place at this stage behind Darren Crosby. Let's jump on board with Quaney.
Called in by car 30. No further action on that incident. There's a lot of net code in that incident as well.
So a lot of net code from race control there regarding that incident at the front.
Called in.
We'll listen in.
We might need to see your replay of what happened. It looks like we've got a lot of net issue on that one.
Nice clear direction there from the race control.
Between 177 and car 28.
So back with your race leaders. Here they are, 1.4. So it's just nibbling away 1/10 of a second or so per lap. If we pause the camera there, you can just see the distance in the background though to Rick Viger. He's dropped back a fair way now, 4.3 off the lead. Then you got Crosby, Quaney, Barrage, Griffiths going through, Reali next. It was Halil in the background there having a little bit of a look still at Blanchard, and then McMillan, Goosey, Sipple, Latham, Dipatito's back there, Weston, Barella, Clark, Munro, and the list goes on. There's quite big holes opening up here in the pack though, and they're probably just standing by and hoping for a safety car, some of these drivers, and whether or not they can save a certain amount of fuel until that first safety car intervention and then be on the front foot to attack with that little bit extra juice in the tank. Speaking of juiced, Frog Leap Juice Racing out in front, and Rick doing an exceptional job at the moment. He's pulled the margin back out to 1.6 seconds now. A little bit of damage there for Peter Kelleher. He's lost the front wander off that Synergy Sim Racing Ford Mustang. I think a little crash by himself there has cost him quite a bit. Well, hey, we saw in the split one race, a lot of drivers almost coming to blows with others that were entering the pit lane. It's something we might just watch out for, especially around lap 20 when they start to go through that first pit cycle. It did seem that a few were caught unawares of the pit entry here at Sandown, and you've got to start to slow up a little bit before you peel off to the right-hand side of the track. And there was definitely a couple of crashes in the top split, and I wonder if the second split might fall for that trap for young players as well. Not that there's too many young players out in this league. Everyone over the age of 40. That's why it's the V8 veterans. You've got to be over the age of 40 to be able to race in this league, and they do have some good racing, don't they, as we see on board now with Tim Harris still sitting in P10, top 10 at the moment, up 1 position. Our biggest mover and shaker of the evening is, in fact, there's 2 of them, Roy Clark and Jace McCaskey. So there's Clark first of all, and then just behind him, Jace McCaskey recovering in the MMS eSports car. Carbo food on the side of that car. It's got some great sponsors that come on board and have rolled along with with Jason across his eSports career. P21 at the moment, up 10 positions, so moving forward nicely. And he's got a good margin over Munro and Peck as well, so he can just afford now to settle in another 8 or so laps before that first fuel stop. And he should be feeling pretty good about all of that. Meanwhile, Quaney, I'm just watching his times. Did a 108.3 last time around. Now that was eclipsed by Chris Barrage just behind him, who did a 108.0, so 0.3 quicker on the previous lap, and he is right on his tail now, ready to pounce. Hello, says good evening all. So glad to see you feeling better, Luke. Thanks, mate. And let's go, Crosby. Been missing you in split 1. I'm feeling better. I'm exhausted, to be honest with you, but I am feeling a little bit better, which is good. Finished up a 3-run night of shows last night. Got home at 2 a.m. Fired up for the day job at 6 a.m. this morning on 4 hours sleep, less. And finished tonight at 6:30 to get home in time to do this at 8. So I'm running on about 2 cylinders. Hopefully you guys can pick up the other 6 for me and help me out tonight and we roll through this. As big thanks the other night to the boys that jumped in, Luke and Nathan, that came in and did the split 1 broadcast when I had no voice at all. And we've just to break the news to you all, and I think I've told Luke and the others, but our 600 broadcast will be the next broadcast. This is 599 tonight. And the 600 one will be on Sunday as we show the split 1 race and the split 2 race this coming Sunday. And then therefore thou art finishes all the interruptions for the V8 vets and my life goes back to normal. And I fly in from Perth on the Sunday morning and we'll get you guys your broadcast from Thursday up on Sunday night. And then some normality will come back to my schedule, thank God, after 5 or so weeks of trooping around the country. So here we are. We're on lap 13 of 65. Barrage sitting nicely behind Quaney, who locks a brake. In front of them, there's a little battle going on here between Viger and Crosby. Now, Crosby looking over the shoulder here at Viger will be seeing the leaders just stretching away in front. And you might want to think about just putting a little bit of pressure, maybe trying for an overtake moving forward, because that gap's already out to 5.7 seconds. Tim Harris and Caesar in the background are dicing as well. I reckon Halil might have a shot here down the inside. He thought about it and he tucks back in. In fact, Harris was having a look at the back of Monday on a Monday here, and Harris thought better of it as well. So Matthew Monday in 9th. Tim Harris rounds out your top 10, and then it's Halil, Caesar, Blanchard, McMillan, Goosey, Sipple, Latham, Dibatito, Weston, Barella and Roy Clark rounds out your top 20. Gap at the front 2.2, 2.3 now. He lost a bit of time there, Simon Hershield. I think he had a slight off coming into that final couple of corners. It's in fact dropped him back 2.5 seconds off the lead now. So he definitely had a little moment down there. And you can see Sibber has streaked away. And it's just brought Hershield back a little bit further towards Viger, Crosby and then Quain and Barrage. Let's go right back to Shannon McMillan. He is chasing down Mark Peck at the moment. This is the battle for 23rd place in this race. Ahead of them, Will Munro. Not too far up the road as well. Gets right up behind the Pecky Performance car under brakes. Does Shannon McMillan, then just dices with the throttle. Now he squeezes it down to 100% and he'll try and get a nice little slipstream and then sneak down the inside at turn 1. Here we go. We'll stay on board for this one. Will he just try and get it alongside, then release the brake, which he does. He's made a half effort at it. He's stuck the nose in there, but he hasn't gone on with it. And Peck hangs it around the outside and stays in that position at the moment. So 23rd place for Peck, 24th for McMillan. They ain't going nowhere as we see Latham now.
Good pass.
And Dibatito, Weston in there as well, fighting, and Peter Latham entry holding on to 16th, up 9 positions already in this race. He's being very defensive there as Troy Sipple in front streaks away now 5.4 seconds ahead of this little battle, but Latham chopped the nose there off Dibatito. He tried to go through and Latham said, I'm having no part of that, slammed the door shut. Got Weston looking for an opportunity to get past both of them. He'll be licking his lips at this opportunity. Let's jump on board with him and have a look forward. So he can see the dice in front for 16th place. And he's thinking, right, Bradbury, let's do it. And once again, it was a half-hearted move from Dibatito. And Latham now holds the inside line. He almost makes contact. In fact, he has to take evasive action across the ripple strip, and that was a little bit hairy. And has that done some damage to the back left-hand side of the car as well? Definitely got some damage on it for Dibatito, and that just helped relieve a bit of the pressure too for Peter Latham in the Shadow Racing racecraft entry, who just streaks away by 3 or 4 car lengths on lap 16, which just helps him, like I say, take a little breather in the background. Meanwhile, here goes Blanchard down the inside on Halil Caesar. Job done. Caesar will try and get the switch back, will he? Sorry, it was in fact Blanchard and Harris. And into the pit lane comes Tim Harris, so he's seen enough of that battle. He wants to come in and get some fuel for his first scheduled pit stop. I would have thought they would all run it out for 20 laps in this one tonight and see who could maybe capitalise on a safety car, but both Harris and Sipple and McMillan as well, I think, have decided to jump in nice and early tonight. A 2.5 second margin still at the front. Crosby now within 5.8 of second and first as well. He's in P3, Darren Crosby, and driving beautifully tonight. At the moment up 2 positions in this second split affair. So the back end of the race leader Subaru's car is just starting to slide slightly now. And I wonder if he might think about just chucking some tyres on this car with the lead that he's got, 3.4 seconds now. Now the critical lap's lap 3, and of course
go right for it.
Lap 3 and lap 34, so they're well within the window now to make that first pit stop, as Barrage, Mikowski, Dibatito are all in the lane for their first one. The lead driver at the moment who has made a stop is Chris Barrage. Now he's just fighting here with Simon Pitt, who we saw in the wall earlier tonight. He's regathered that out, albeit that it does have a boot lid missing. Hello Glenn Boyce, nice to have you watching, mate, as we see this shortened version of the Commodore on your screen right now for Pitty Pitt. He's trying to hold out Chris Barrage, who's looked pretty feisty of late. And then he got Harris, Wayne Lecomte back in 23rd position now. Then we go back further. Matt McMillan, Troy Sipple, then Stephen Gretsch, Dibatito's behind him. Then you got Jason Dunn, Jason McCaskey, a couple of Jasons down there in 28th and 29th place. Then Dave Garbutt, 30th position for him. Craig Healy bringing up the rear as well. Mark Peck still out there racing, good to see. And then Michael Hayes, 34th position. Having a tough evening at the moment as he winds it up again for another run down the pit straight here at Sandown. But your race leader, incredible job so far. 3.3 seconds has been super consistent. He's got the car on a dime, turning on a dime, and now he comes into the pit lane for his first stop. Let's just stay on board and watch how this pit stop unfolds. The Frog Leap Juice Racing team. So Rick back out into the race he comes in 6th position. That's so Head Shield, Quayne, Latham, Barella, Monday, Munro, all still in the pit lane. Barrage has gone through on all of those guys. As Monday comes out, Riali and Blanchard come out as well. So if you look at where they were on the track, Christopher Blanchard's lost out a fair bit there. And I'm just going to go through the pit numbers to see if we can work out what the issue is. So Quayne took 50.7 seconds to get through the lane. Now to me that's quite a lengthy or slow entry to the pit lane. Scott Weston's got himself back up into the points now, top 20. He'll be enjoying this little run as he recovers from the start. He's got very fast Jason Mikowski behind him who can probably help drag him through, but I'm sure in his own merit he feels he should have been a lot higher in this race. It was just that race start that put him on the back foot. As Lecomte still holds out, McMillan on board now with Wayne looking back. He's up 15 spots tonight, so it's a lovely drive. Another one in the pits now. It is Wayne Lecomte to take his compulsory service. And then Matt McMillan, who we'll put the initials on. We haven't been doing this for a while, but let me put the initials on. So you can just see who's who down the left-hand side for a moment anyway. So there you go. It's Matty McMillan we're watching now. P11, his brother. Not having the best of luck at the moment. He's down a little bit further. So a little error there for Shannon McMillan it was. I'm trying to hear if we had a safety car then. I don't think we do. McMillan was able to free that car from the gravel trap and continue on. So far so good. No safety cars. Lap 22. We're surely seeing these drivers just sit into a pattern now. Looking at the best lap times, we've seen a 107.88 for your race leader, a 107.86 last time around. That was for Chris Barrage. The outright best lap time we've seen tonight is a 107.24 by your race leader. So these look very classy. In fact, all the times there, if you look at the top times or the top speed, the top times, I'm going to try and get those up on the screen. You'll just see what I mean. It is super close between the top 10 competitors in this race tonight. See now some best lap times up on the screen. A 107.241 is the ultimate lap time at the moment, 4/10 quicker than anyone else. So he's in a class of his own at the moment, Mr. Rick, and he is flying, folks. They continue to push on here. This is Rick lapping Lecomte now, so he's lapped everyone up to 29th place in the race. So is the speed that he's carrying. He just does another low 1 minute 8. And I'm just looking back, the next three drivers, Eddershield, Barrage and Crosby, were all quicker on that lap. The damage has been done in a certain extent. He's probably hoping for, this man's probably hoping for a safety car tonight. He's one position outside of a podium. see his teammate up the road, so they can work together, Barrage and Crosby, to try and secure them both and run in the top 3 if they can. At the moment, it's looking pretty good, isn't it, for Rick out in front. The gap out to 9 seconds now. So he is certainly just checked out in front. You can already taste some of the champagne, this man. Champagne. Thanks, Pete, with the nice words saying whoop whoop. Hope you getting better, Luke. Getting there. If all of a sudden the broadcast just goes to no talking and it doesn't change off 1K, you know I've fallen asleep. So it is a struggle today, I tell you what, getting through today on not much sleep at work. And then coming home, it's freezing outside. It'd be nice to just sit by the fire, I reckon, have a nice whiskey. What's everyone's taste of whiskey out there? We had a fair bit of whiskey on this tour, I gotta say. Hence why the voice doesn't always bounce back as quickly as it should, as we see Blanchard and Troy Sipple under attack right now. Sipple, I think, is going to get pounced on here as they go down the pit wall into the braking zone, and like that, oh, he's locked it all up, and Pecky Performance eyeballs popping out of its skull there, and he lost an extra position there, did Christopher Blanchard, so that was a good effort, but in the end, he went from a possible P13, just dropping back slightly, so as you can see from the replay there, whoops, we've still got the Supercars thing on there. Probably should change that. So let's have a look at this replay as we head down the pit straight on board. And he tried. It was a good effort around the outside, but you're going to get all the marbles and all the other rubbish that's out there on the outside line. And he caught that and he could not get it stopped. So unfortunate, but good racing between those two. We're on lap 26. So far, everyone has made their first of 2 pit stops tonight. Will we see 3 pit stops? We saw some drivers in the split 1 event the other night have to go for the 3 stopper, but they all did commit quite early to a stop under caution. And the gap now 9 seconds, first back to second place. Let's go back to this battle further down the field. This is Glenn Boyce fighting with Craig Healy as we've got a car off the track. Oh, it's McMillan in the fence. So Matt McMillan's in a bit of trouble, and I wonder if he's not stuck on the fence there. He's asking for a tow. This could be our first caution. So safety car boards and flags, and we are going to our first caution of the evening. This will bunch things up as Matt McMillan is stuck in the fence. Will we see a flurry of cars in the pits? I don't think so, because everyone has just made their first service. Whilst we're under caution here and everything gets bunched up, we'll be back with you in about 30 seconds.
Safety car when you approach it. Car 22,
So we get ready for the safety car to pull away from the field and get us back underway racing here at Sandown. lap 28 of 65, the Porsche safety car tonight, with everyone making one stop only. Craig Healy has made 2 stops, lap 25 being his second of 2 stops. He'll definitely have to come in again, and I think Matt McMillan will as well, back in 26th place. Is he on 26th place? Matty's back in.
We're going to do one more lap of safety car, guys, just to make sure it's traffic.
So they're going to do a few more wave rounds here as we wait for Rick Sibra to get us back underway. So the safety car in at the end of this lap. And we get set to go back to green flag racing. Here we go, folks. Oh, we're going to do one more lap. Get that right. So, Sibra, get rid of that green one.
Will be in at the end of this lap.
So we're doing another lap here under caution. So head of shield, let's have a quick look at the pit strategy. Might be something to have a quick look at whilst race control is chatting away there. And you can see everyone on a pretty similar strategy. Lap 19 for the top 2, and they're now 9 laps into their second stint. Lap 17 for Barrage in P3, so his tyres are a little bit older, a couple of laps older than the top 2. And he may be under a little bit of pressure from Crosby, who's fresher tyres, with Quaney as well. Might just be able to get a little bit of a jump off the restart. So that'll be something to watch, of course. Griffiths is in there, he's held position. We've got Monday up 4 spots. Goosey's up 9 spots now into the top 13, so he's moved along nicely in the race. And our biggest mover is Shaker in 18th place, up 13 is Jace Mikowski. So he's got himself inside the top 20, and this will help him now close the margin. He might even be able to pick off a couple more cars on the restart. So we just got half a lap to go here. You can see from the track map how busy it is for this restart. And that is the safety car that's just sitting in front there on the track map. It will peel off shortly into the pit lane, driven by the admin in this series. Do a great job, the series admin, to keep this running. So like I say, we won't be live this Thursday night for Split 1. We have one more week of interruptions with our schedule. Me being away Thursday, Friday, Saturday, home Sunday, and a double header on Sunday. That is permitting that I survive the trip home from Perth and the shenanigans from the night before for a double header on Sunday.
Safety car is in the pit lane.
Safety car's in the pit lane. Let's get set to go green flag racing once again. You can see Rick, he'll have control here, and he's bolted early, so open the gate, we're out of here. He's checked out by about half a second, got a great jump there. Barrage was caught napping slightly off the restart. He's dropped back already at 1.5 seconds. You can see how spread out the field is. They weren't completely bunched up off the restart, and Rick Sibra got away well. He runs very wide through there. Header shield, oh boy, out of shape. Header shield trying to take advantage of that, goes wheel to wheel, tries to get himself up on the inside by going around the outside, but then almost got together with your race leader. But good opportunistic move there to try and get through on Rick, who made the slightest of error on the restart, just overcooked it into the braking zone as we hit lap 30 of 65. In the background, Barrage also now closes up nicely onto the back of Header Shield, and Sibra are on board with him now, riding through the S's, the bucket bull ride down the hill, cutting across the curve under the Penrite sign and through to finish another lap here at Sandown. And the top 3 broke away well there. 1.8 seconds covers the top 4, and then Quaney at the moment 2.8 seconds back off the lead of this race. A 1 lap restart, so it just goes to show how quick the top guys are at the front. There's Quaney, you can see Viger in behind him with Griffiths, Monday, Harris, Reales at the back of that too, and under some pressure from Halil Caesar, who's looking to the right. Now he'll look back to the left, and Halil too far back at the moment to make a run on him, but Halil's got himself up into 11th now, only 1 spot outside the top 10. Behind them you can see Sippel, Goosey and Blanchard all squabbling over this 12th, 13th and 14th. Then Dimitito, Peter Latham further back with Weston just behind him. Then Mikowski, Garbett, Morella, Munro and Hollis back in 22nd. Then it's Glenn Boyce in the Spaghetti Arms racing car. And Boyce already up 10 spots in this race as we come towards the halfway point. He's done a really good job, hasn't he? So, Glenny Boyce, Spaghetti Arms Racing. It's a cool team name. There he is. Oh, he's got the, what's that called again? Anonymous? Leaf Vendetta, or whatever it is in that movie. The stars on the helmet there. So on board with Troy Sipple now as we head down the pit straight. He's trying to stay in touch here with Khalil Caesar, who's putting plenty of pressure there on Riale. We might just flick back to that because he's having a look. Not close enough, but Troy Sipple also ahead there of Darren Goose. We've got a pass further back in the order. That was Garbutt on Mikowski getting himself up another spot. Barella's just tucked in behind as well. Maybe learning a little bit from that overtake and getting set himself to do just the same on the next lap. We might talk to a few drivers tonight if they've got some time to pop in and say g'day. Head over to Discord. You can pop in and say g'day to your heart's content tonight. The M1 racing cars of Crosby and Barrage running along astern here. This is Chris Barrage in front, just snatched a break slightly there. He's in his own little battle here really with Heddershield trying to get in front of him. What's happened to Kelleher? He's in a bit of strife by the sounds of things. Trying to find, oh, we've got a big pile up down there. In fact, there's Biddy's involved in that. 2 or 3 cars blocking the track. You can see the try and get the witness marks in the background there. You can just see what is going on there. I reckon someone's lost it out of the corner and then they've all got into each other and blocked the track. So damage to McMillan's car. And then Dunn's got some damage as well. He's lost the back end of the car. Kelleher's got damage. What about Healy? I was just trying to... So yeah, Healy's in the pits. He's got damage to get fixed as well. So I wonder if he was involved in that too. The left-hand side's all smashed up. Kelleher's still out there, but he's just coming through the final corner now, and he's got steering damage, maybe. Yep, he's into the pits as well. So he's in the pits to get that damage fixed, and that looks pretty nasty the way it's pulling to one side. Pit's in the pits as well. Pit's in the pits. Pitty's in the pits. As we go back to race leader Rick Spra.
Yeah, so I think that's what
So I think that was a radio message I was trying to pick up on that. I think that was maybe Craig Healy retiring the car, which is unfortunate news. So you can see him in the pit bay there. Damage on the left-hand side of the car, and by the looks of it, out of this race, sadly for the Taipan eSports competitor. One of his teammates still running is Scott Weston in 17th place, ahead of Garbutt, chasing down Peter Latham in the Racecraft Shadow Racing car as well. And just watching Jace Mikowski in the back of your picture there, right on the back of Dave Garbutt, making himself large and loud, up into 19th place now as Halil Caesar dives into the pits, and you can see Halil just jumping in there behind Goosey, who are on board with, is Troy Sipple, and then Dibatito, Blanchard, Latham running at your top 15. So once again, as per usual, we're in a bit of a holding pattern during this second pit phase, and then we gloves off for the final run to the flag as we hit lap 37 now of 65. Let's do a lap on board, and who can we pick for visor cam? We might go with Mr. Crosby, who's dicing along nicely in 4th place. Let's crank up the sound and enjoy a lap on board here with visor cam and the one and only M1 racing driver, Darren Crosby.
on lap 34, and then further action on that one. Just to the next bit. Copy, right, control.
So we'll run through the order with the ticker from the top. We'll have a look at who's who and who's where at this stage of the race. We're getting well into it now, so we're getting towards that second and final pit stop for a lot of these drivers too. Rick Sipper leads, of course. Heather Shield P2. Then you've got Chris Barrage at the moment. M1 Racing running 3rd and 4th. Darren Goosey is your 4th place driver at the moment. Then Quaney 57 rounds out the top 5. Viger then still holding on to 6th in the 014 car. And it's Griffiths, Munday, Harris. And at this stage, Riali rounding out your top 10. Then you got Darren Goosey in 11th place, Sipple 12th, Peter Latham in 13th. Jason Dibatito still rounding out your top 14. And Scott Weston there as well. Then you got Christopher Blanchard back further. Runs a little bit wide through there, opens the door for Dave Garbutt. And then Jace Mikowski. 19th is Richard Barella. Will Munro rounds out your top 20. 21st place is Steve Gretsch, then there's Roy Clark, Shannon McMillan, Halil Caesar. A little bit on the wrong foot now, but he has stopped twice. So lap 36 being his second pit stop. He should be able to sneak it home to the end of the race from there. That set of safety car here and there wouldn't go as straight as well. Then behind him, you've got Michael Hayes, Roderick Hollis in 27th, Mark Peck rounds out the 28th. Then you got Dunn in the pits currently with Wayne Lecomte, Matt McMillan and Peter Kelleher just outside the 30 at this stage. That is a slow moving Mark Peck. Now, has he blown a motor? No. He was just letting a heap of the leaders go through by the looks of things. He was letting the top 4 progress through and head on up the road. So very nice driving there from Mr. Mark Peck. Good sportsmanship as we go back to your race leader once again. Head a shield in behind, but not really making any sort of inroads to Rick. And then you got Barrage, similar sort of story. He's just cruising along, but not really looking dangerous at all. They've dropped Crosby, and then Quain at the moment has dropped nearly 7.8. In fact, it is 8 seconds now off the back of P3. We'll see if we can get some drivers in for a chat. Come and help old Lukey boy stay awake here. Not a lot of action going on out there as once again Peck just steers out of the way for some cars going through and putting a lap on him as we look back further with Munro, Gretsch and Clark in their own little scrap. This is way down the order. 21st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th is the battle we're looking at. The Rams home loan car there of Stephen Gretsch looking very, very good. Get a chance to talk to Tim Nicol and say good day and see what's going on in the world of Tim. How are you, Tim?
Hey Luke. Yeah, not too bad, buddy. Not too bad. I'm suffering the old COVID bug at the moment.
Oh, that's not good. What's the worst symptom you got, mate? You got the headache and the cough?
Yeah. So luckily I haven't been overly inundated with it, but yeah, the worst symptoms: headache. I had some really weird symptoms like sweaty feet, which didn't play well with driving a sim because I drive barefoot up here in the territory as we do. But yeah, just tired and nasally, and I'm 8 days out now from when I tested, and I'm still thick.
Yeah, it's not good. Yeah, it hangs around, which is annoying as we see Gretsch coming in the pits after a little spin here on lap 43. Yeah, I had one of my staff who came in, told me they were exposed to COVID a couple of days ago, and I was thinking, oh geez, I hope I don't get it for a second time. I've had the flu and a few other things lately, plus just being completely exhausted. So it's yeah, I don't wish it upon anyone to get bloody COVID again.
Yeah, that's right. It's pretty ripe up here at the moment. My son's just tested positive. He's 10. My wife's had it before. She's just got a bit of influenza. But yeah, everyone's falling down at work. So it's travel seems to be knocking everyone around. If they're jumping on a plane, you tend to get a dose of COVID.
Yep. We just heard a message there from Quaney and Viger. There's a bit of chit-chat between these two, so I'm not sure. I didn't see any contact. It looked pretty civil out there, so I'm not sure what that was about. We'll keep an eye on these two. But yeah, how was your run through last week?
Last week was interesting. Obviously, being at home with COVID, I had a fair bit of time to practice, so I got a good handle on Sandown, which is not the easiest of tracks. Qualified reasonably well at 13th, which is pretty good for me. I don't do well with the 2-lap qualifiers. And I jagged a good start with Scott Gamble having a bit of an incident up the front with Bensi. So yeah, I was up in the top 10 and even fought off the McKnight train for six or seven laps before he flashed me multiple times and thought I better let him go. I'm probably holding him back, but wasn't the case. Pitted. Had a good fuel strategy, and then I blame it on COVID. Had an absolute brain fade after one of the other safety cars we had, lost it down the back straight, going down the hill, and
I was stuck in
nearly
one
took
gear.
out Michael Stewart, but ended up, I think, 30th or 29th or something like that after all that. So was going to be a good run, but didn't end up being the way that I wanted it to.
Yeah. Yeah, we just while you're chatting there, we just saw there's been an incident here, and Peck's in a bit of strife, and so is who was the other car involved in that? I think it may have been Hollis. So they're stuck there. It looks like Hollis's race is over, and Peck's got it going again, but he's got plenty of damage, and there's a bit of chit chat between those two. So safety car out again tonight. So our second safety car period here on lap 45.
Go fast, Roy.
As everyone comes in for their second stop now, so it's a busy little phase in the pits.
Past the safety car, past the safety car.
And
Nothing worse than watching your teammate on the TV and taken out or being taken himself out. I'm not sure what happened there. I missed it.
yeah, no replays unfortunately on a replay file, but we're just watching now as in the pits we've got Barrage and Crosby now there.
Oh, still go past the safety car. Yep, keep going past the safety car.
Okay, so this is second stops for everyone underway. Lap 46, so you bring it home easily from here. Lap 46, obviously, you can fill it up and you'd have plenty in the tank. So strategy-wise, it was pretty much a two-stopper for everyone, although there were a few that did the splash and dash, weren't there, in the top split?
Yeah, it was interesting for fuel strategy in our split with a couple of safety cars we had. Sort of, I think everyone's come to the conclusion now, getting in and filling up on the safety car does work out as a benefit instead of holding track position, especially if you can just get that sort of undercut, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's hard in that split one nowadays.
Yeah, it's competitive, isn't it? As the safety car's just picking up header shield now. So I'm just having a look to see what's happened to Rick. He's dropped back to 4th position.
Can I get a ruling on
in all that? Now, he had a nearly 8-second longer pit stop than in that final pit stop for him. So that's pushed him back into P4. He's lost track position to header shield, Crosby and Barrage. So
we almost came out side by side, so either.
I'll just turn down this radio chatter because they're having a bit of an argument with trying to get their point across to race control. But yeah, so we've still got, what, 19 laps to go tonight. Plenty to happen here. We're 57 minutes in. Is this the time of the race where you start feeling a little bit tired and, you know, you got the sweaty feet anyway from COVID, but, you know, they're long races, aren't they? V8 Vets probably one of the longest series as far as the length of races.
Yeah, 100%. This is with the back end of this race, you're sort of getting to that, exactly to that point of not so much fatigue, but wanting the brain to take a bit of a rest. And for me particularly, I'm not sure if the other guys are the same, a safety car, you can tend to sort of wind down a little bit too far, and then it takes a good couple of laps to get back into the rhythm. And if you're fighting in those first or second lap after a safety car, that's where it can come unstuck really bad, which is what happened to me. You think you're in a rhythm, but you're actually not really, and you've got to refocus and get on with the job.
We've got some wave rounds happening right now as we try and just look at the order. So this is how it stands as safety car has the field under control, but header shield leads the race from Crosby, Raj and Sibra. Then you got Griffiths, Viger, sees it up into 7th as well. Now Riali and Harrison Monday to round out the top 10. So they're all lined up. We're going to try and see what the restart's like here, because Rick's been incredible off the get-go. He was able to drop header shield very well on the previous restart. Let's see what he can do this time, if he can maybe try and sneak back a few of those positions. But ideally, he did lose out, like I said, by about 8 seconds in the pit stoppage time, which means he may be safe on fuel and everyone else might be very tight towards the end.
Yes, yeah, that top 5, top 6, right there to Vigar. They're a pretty strong bunch, and I wouldn't want to be in the mix of that off the restart.
Someone's saying it's possible a safety car inception. Not sure what that means. Was there an incident with the safety car in this race?
Don't know. It sounds like something from Stranger Things.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe people noticed that I skipped a lap back there. I was skipping laps under caution tonight. Just because I'm fatigued.
Car 69, you made pass on the right.
Hopefully no one's upset with me.
Hey, just blame me. I'm in the room. Everyone blames me for everything.
Yeah. Oh, Tim, did you press the fast forward button during the safety car period? That safety car definitely jumped forward a lap there. I'm not sure what was going on there.
On the lead lap.
We are getting set for a restart though, so stand by, folks. We'll get the green shortly. And we're doing another lap under caution here anyway. So lap 48 now. And we can watch him go around all night, but let's go back to green flag racing. So here we go, back green on lap 49, and Header Shield leads us across the line, and he did actually a really good jump there. So pulled away by 6/10 off the get-go. Now Rick almost caught napping himself after a set. He did so well last time. It's 1.5 seconds, the gap between first and fourth. In the background, you can see Caesar right on the tail of Rick Feiger as well. And wow, he's due for a really good performance up the front, isn't he? So Halil up 6 spots into the top 7 now, but Header Shield, can he bring this home with 16 or so laps to run now in this race? Everyone has made their second stop. You would probably say that they're all good on fuel, considering we just had about a 5-lap safety car period after the second stop. So you would think if they're fueled up to the end of the race and then they've done 5 laps under caution, everyone's going to be able to go full throttle here. What do you reckon, Tim?
Yeah, I think so. Like, unless someone's particularly done a short fuel and trying to get position out of the pits, that's the only strategy I can see. Otherwise, it'll be full throttle.
Full throttle to the end. I'm looking back at Matty Monday. He's Matthews in 10th place, and they're playing that game now down the pit straight where they swerve around trying to break the toe. The Tim Harris locked on lads car as well, 9th place. Everyone in the top 14 or so has made some pretty good gains, including Peter Latham in that very bright racecraft car. The 65, he's got Christopher Blanchard behind him, who's dropped 1 position tonight. The drivers that have sadly gone backwards tonight, Quaney's back in 24th now, so I'm not sure where it's all gone wrong for him. He's had 3 stops. So is Gretsch, and also Roderick Hollis, who we saw in the incident that caused the safety car. We didn't see the actual crash, but he is now out of the race. So we've lost 3 or 4 drivers who will take no further part in this race with 15 to go. But Header Shield looking good out in front for a possibly a win tonight. The fully floored Racing 53 Holden Commodore.
Yeah, it's not one I want to take on to try and steal first position. I've raced Header Shield a few times, and he is aggressive.
Yeah, he's pulling away at the moment. It's not 9/10 of a second now. I was about to say he's defensive as well, but at the moment there's no need for defense. It's all offense. He's pushing away and into the distance he goes. The gap out over a second now, 1.1 in fact. So we got a spinner. It's Matthew Monday. I've just given him a huge wrap, and now he's in the fence at the end of the front straight. So, and I reckon he's stuck on that wall. Why is iRacing making them stick on the wall? What is that?
Yeah, I don't know. Flipped me the other night, put me on my roof, which spun me out.
Yeah, it's sort of weird. I actually thought it was something they brought in as he just asked for a tow, but I feel like that started when they had the damage model where you could turn damage off. And it was a way of stopping guys riding fences in dirt speedway, because you would actually get stuck on the fence. But it seemed to have hung around, and it comes out in the weirdest situations where you just see cars lurch and get stuck on a fence somewhere, and then all of a sudden it's not good at all.
Yeah, I was very lucky in the split 1 race coming in a Dandenong. I hit the fence very similar to that. I bounced off luckily this time, but I was dreading it.
Yep, so we're under full course caution again. I don't think anyone's going to need the pits here on lap 53. Header Shield, Crosby, Barrage, your top 3 as they cross the line. This will help Rick get 1 more shot off a restart, but once again, like I reiterated before, with everyone fueling to the end of the race, now having another safety car period, we're going to be full throttle to the end for sure. So out of the top 10, let's try and make some picks here who might squeeze through a few extra positions. I haven't seen a lot of Robbie Griffiths of Fishy Motorsports, but he seems to be doing well, top 5 at the moment. And maybe if he can sort of attach himself here in the Fishy Motorsports Commodore to the back of Rick's Frog Leap Juice Racing car, he might be able to sneak through for a podium tonight, because he has got a pretty fast competitor in front of him who we're on board with now. So another caution, lap 53. And silly sort of cautious tonight. I mean, that was just, I think someone just said, what, iRacing collision and net code, who knows? Don't know what causes it, but yeah, to get stuck on the fence like that, that ruins your race. It's a bit unfortunate, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
All right, well, it's good to talk to you, Tim. Thanks for popping in for a chat, man, and we'll good luck for this Thursday night. We're obviously doing the replay of it on Sunday when I get back from Perth and Adelaide, so and then
thanks,
get back to some normality then, and Thursdays will become Thursdays again, Fridays will become Fridays again, and everything goes back to normal. So massive thanks to everyone for their patience over the last 5 or so weeks of stuff around.
Yeah, no worries, Luke. Thanks for that. Thanks for letting me in. And yeah, watch out for turn 1 at Monza. It's going to be a cracker.
It is going to be a cracker. Thanks, Timmy. Cheers, mate.
Yeah.
Cheers. Tim Nicol having a chat with us there live
Clear to go green.
as we do this replay. The safety cars peeled out of the way. Getting set to go back to green flag racing to go into lap 53 here tonight. We get a green. Shield leads us away, and gee, he was close to the fence on the restart there, but he got away beautifully, over at 1.1 seconds off the get-go. And Crosby and Barrage, the two M1 cars running second and third, they've stayed nice and close, haven't they, off the restart. Further back you can see, oh, that's one of the Taipan cars, Scott Weston, very deep on the brakes, trying to go around the outside there of Troy Sipple, but not getting through. But he made a good restart as well. Blanchard in the another beautifully turned out Pecky Performance car, still running 14th. Himself and Tipitito have remained where they started this race, behind the Mikowskis, up 15 positions. Oh, sideways there for Barella. Mikowski up 15, Clark up 13. Garbutt has just overtaken Barella, and McMillan's having a shot as well. On board with McMillan as he goes side by side with the Wodonga Cars and Parts car, and the Wodonga Cars and Parts car puts up the white flag and says, not today, my friend. Go through. Jamie McKnight says, hey, Luke, I got a dose of COVID real good today. Feel like shit. That's not good, Jamie. I thought the People's Champion was invincible to COVID. But unfortunately, man, take care. Rest up. I know it's knocking a lot of people around. No, geez, I've probably come in contact with at least 5,000 people over the last couple of days, so I'm hoping I'm not due for round number two. I know the flu's been bad enough. In fact, the flu, which I've had the last couple of weeks, I've got to say, is probably worse than COVID. Well, it's felt worse than COVID for me anyway, so hopefully everyone that's affected at the moment by COVID and the likes gets well, get the vitamin C into you, and get yourselves back to full strength very soon. As Shield still with a half a second lead. That gap's just come down slightly now. So the M1 boys in chase, and oh, he's gone very wide in there again. Made a few little mistakes like that tonight, and I reckon Crosby's about to try and pounce on that. He didn't get through, but he's now right on the tail of the race leader. And this has compacted now the top 5 back to about a 1.5 second gap between them. So check it out as they hit the pit straight. Starting lap 56 now. That was wild said done. I'm not sure what he was watching, but what we were watching at the front was pretty good as well. Back further, you can see in the back of the order there, Goosey, Sipple, Weston, Latham, Blanchard. Big train of cars. Petito, Mikowski, then Clark, Gubbett, Millen, Zeb with Barella, then Boyce in the Spaghetti Arms racing car. I love that name, Spaghetti Arms. Apparently, we've got a car across the track there. That's Dave Garbutt going for a Leyland Brothers adventure across the road, and now just stopping prior to the apex. What's he doing there? He's just letting everyone go through, I think. There's a little bit of a blip of throttle, and off he goes on his way. So mayhem at the end of the lap there for him, or the start of the lap I should say, as Heddershield goes through to finish, or goes towards the finish here of lap 56. Someone just disappeared on us. Crosby's still there, Barrage is still there. Sibra's still there as well. Griffiths, Viger, and Halil Caesar now into 7th. Let's right on board with him as he chases down Rick Viger. So battle at the front, Heddershield in trouble there. Crosby goes through to lead the race. I think Barrage might try and have a shot at him as well. They go side by side down the back straightaway now. Oh, the fully floored car moved over on him. That was close. Almost some contact between these two. He now holds position. Oh, he's still moving over again. There's more contact. He's got to be careful here that he doesn't run Barrage off the road. I tell you what, he's just holding his line there, and Heddershield gave him a few little knocks there. That's helped Crosby move away 1.7 seconds. He goes in deep again there. So a couple of little errors creeping in there. Keith Logan says, what have I missed, Luke? Not much, mate. How are your races going? Hopefully you're racing well tonight out there. As we get towards the pointy end of this race, 7 and a bit laps to go. There's another car crashed in the fence there. As who was that one? That was one of the old mate and son's cars. In fact, it was Jason Dunn. I think he's actually jumped back to the pits, and we're under caution. I didn't hear that caution. So there, we're under another caution here. Lap 59. So it should be a short run around, I would say, to get racing again. We'll run with this one and we'll get a bit of music on for half a lap or so and get ourselves set for the final part of this race with not much to go now. So what do you put your money on? Crosby for a win, or will it be Mr. Heddershield who will get it all together and come home for a win tonight? What about Barrage? Will he get something from P3? Rick might come through and Bradbury them all. Got a big finish coming up here on RACESTARS TV for the V8 vets. Round number 5, split 2, under caution.
Car 051, it's up on the right. Car 051, you may pass on the right. Copy. Car 59, you may pass on the right. Car 79, you may pass on the right. And 187. Yep, good for you. May pass. Pass on the right, just stay with the caution. Vehicles reaction, rose control. So should leave that 58. Then 121 towards the caution. Yeah, correct. Sorry, 121. Can you wait for the pack to pass you? Sorry, mate. Still good. Yeah, apologies for that, Jeff. Thanks for bringing that up. Thanks, Rich. Sorry, George. This car will begin at the end of the putt. Darren will have to control the field. This car will lead Max and the top of the hill. Just maintain 80k, and I'll let you know this car is in the pit lane and clear for green. Yeah, you may exit.
Safety car in this lap, now extending away from the field. We're about to go green and bring it home for the last 5 laps of this race. It will be a 5-lap dash with no further cautions, I presume. Once we get into this 5-lap dash, we have lost another couple of drivers out of the race, unfortunately. Good to see Martin Lofthouse out there doing a good job in the safety car. But it will be on the shoulders now of Darren Crosby to lead us away. Heddershield pushing along nicely here before we get underway in racing, so he's keen for the restart, but Crosby will have all the pressure here just to get this braking zone at turn 1 right. It was a big wobble for Heddershot as he got on the power, and that'll hurt his momentum down the straightaway. In fact, Barrage may have a look at him. And yeah, they've got away nicely at the front. In fact, Crosby just needs to get this braking zone right and turn it in, hit his apex. He was about a metre off the apex there. He went wide, so did Heddershot, big wag of the tail. Barrage's eyes light up. Sibra probably thinks, oh, yep, this is coming my way shortly, as they're ready to scrap for a 5-lap dash here onto the back straight. Lighting up the rear tyres, Barrage as well, but out in front, Crosby. He's looking good, isn't he? Once he gets into a rhythm, the gap 0.4 of a second. Looking back from his car, Heddershot trying to stay in the tow, but not close enough. It's about 3.5 tenths as they get into the braking zone. That instantly goes out to over 4 tenths. A good braking, and Heddershot just looks a little bit out of control here. He locks a brake on the way in. Will drop a couple of tenths back to 6 tenths now. So those little errors just creeping in, meaning he can't run with your race leader. The pit strategy between these guys very similar, so they've come out. Well, Crosby's probably got 1 lap fresher rubber, so does Barrage, than the other drivers around them, so that may play into the hands of Darren Crosby, your race leader here, and possibly this Barrage. Can he get himself P2? Can they get an M1 Racing 1-2 tonight? In the background you can see a car pulling out for an overtake there. It's the old mate and sons, Darren Goosey, ahead of Tim Harris, who's got Troy Sipple tucked in behind now, inside, no, nearly inside the top 10. He's 11th. So the Pecky Performance car for with Constantine Solutions on the bonnet. Now only 1 position outside of the top 10. Crosby out in front, lap 62 of 65. G'day, Jason Dixon. It's good to be back, man, as we see, who's this? Jason Fewens. I knew you'd go back and watch it. I was bored, so I thought I would stir you up. Oh, that's talking to Jamie. I thought you were talking to me. I was like, what are you talking about? Oh, Heddershot out of control there, sideways. He's lost a stack of time, 1.4 seconds in fact he lost to the race leader with that mistake. The back end of that car looks like it's on about 30 lap old tyres right now. It's not, it's on, I think, well, about, what, 20 lap old tyres? Lap 40, so yeah, I'll tell you what, when I say lap 30, it's pretty close. He did stop on lap, well, he stopped on lap 44, so get the maths right, Luke. It's about 20 lap old tyres for Heddershot and 19 lap old tyres for Crosby. And Barrage, who's just lost a position now. As look out, Rick Sibber is on the move. He's now got himself up into a podium spot. Robbie Griffiths is eyeing off a top 4 finish here as well. McKnight says Crosby, he's got this. He's looking good, isn't he? The gap now 1.2 seconds. A lot of that is Heddershot's own doing, though. As Barrage now has a look back at Sibra, can't get through. In behind, jumping over the curves. Rick Viger's right there as well. They're ready to pick up the scraps if there's any issues. Caesar also sitting in 7th. Wouldn't take much for these drivers to end up on the podium tonight. Reali there, Goosey in 9th, and Tim Harris still rounding out your top 10. Ahead of Sipple, Weston, Latham and Blanchard down in 14th. But at the front, look at this gap now, 1.3 seconds as they cross the line to start the penultimate lap of the race. The M1 racing car out in front, looking for a victory in this split 2 round 5 race from Sandown Raceway. And at the moment, Rick's got himself back in a podium spot. I don't think if Chris is going to wag the tail like that, I don't think he's going to bother too much at the back of Rick in this final 2 laps of the race. SimSpec Racer thinks McKnight will take this, but he'll come through and just quickly make up 65 laps and win it. Maybe Roy Clark's out of the race. He's out on the infield there. Clark is in trouble. McMillan as well. They've possibly had it coming together. There's another McMillan there off the track with some damage. Shannon just going quite slowly, so I think they may have come together, those two. Let's have a listen to what they're saying. Is it spicy?
Yeah, it's going to be looked at post-race.
Spicy comments happening there between the two. Crosby by 1.4 now with a lap to go. 1 lap to go here for Darren Crosby to take a win. Look in the background. Rick Sibra all over the back now of Simon Heddershot. The white flag flies at Sandown. He's weaving, he's ducking, he's diving. He's trying to put a little bit of a put a couple of mind games on here, as I think Kelleher's off the track as well now, and Garbutt's there in the gravel trap too.
Have a look at that.
These two have come together. That'll be investigated after the race, no doubt. There's a slow-moving Synergy Sim racing car there. That's Kelleher with damage on the left-hand side as well. So yeah, post-race investigation on that one, no doubt. It's too late to investigate it now. We're on the final lap of this race as Crosby heads down the back straight, 1.1 second the margin. Heddershield looks like he's also been able to pull out about 3/10 from Rick Zibber on this final lap of the race, and trying to hold on here to a podium. Heddershield once again locks that inside unloaded tyre and keeps it on the road though. Crosby only a couple of corners to go now to take a win in the V8 Vets here from round number 5. We're in season number 12, and the checker flag is going to drop for him, and he gets a fantastic win tonight. Crosby takes the win tonight, up 4 positions. Heddershield gets second by the smallest margins over Rick Zibber. And then you got Barrage, who gets 4th for M1. Fishy Motorsports in 5th with Robbie Griffiths, ahead of Rick Viger, Little Caesar, Riali, Harris and Goosey to round out your top 10 as they scream towards the line. Good finish in that race, but it was all Darren Crosby and all class tonight. He takes a win for round number 5. We'll get some interviews in shortly with the drivers and we'll wrap it all up here from Sandown.
Nice drag race at the end there, Scotty.
So your race results up on the screen. Crosby by over a second in the end takes the win from Simon Heddershield, Rick Zibber, your top 3. Classic racing. Let's see if we can't go find ourselves some drivers now to have a chat. And we got the man who finished P2 tonight. Simon's in for a chat. Well done, mate. The fully floored racing car. P2 tonight. You enjoy that one?
Yeah, it's great to finally get to talk to you, Luke. I would have liked to have spoken to you from P1, obviously, but I made a bit of a blunder in the last few laps there and let Darren through. But to be fair, probably Darren, Chris and Rick were quicker than me all race. I just managed to put a good lap together in quality that I hadn't managed to do the whole time. And it was pretty hard to pass around here, and I just managed to hang in there long enough, but yeah, couldn't quite finish the job, unfortunately.
Well, the car looks incredible, man. It's a great livery you got there. Who did that one for you?
Yeah, that's my son, and thanks to Dan for getting me back into sim racing after years away. I had to drag the old G27 out of the shed. They had a homemade sim that was being thrown out. They brought it round home, and I've jumped back on board and put it together and actually loving it. So Daniel doesn't do much in the way of V8s anymore. He's doing a bit of NASCAR, and he doesn't have much time now with the young family. So he was quicker than me in V8, so it would have been good to have him in there. But yeah, they got the livery done, and I'm happy to rep his business of Fully Floored Limited back in NZ there.
Oh, very good, mate. Yeah, great job tonight. So who would you like to thank for P2?
Thank the sponsors, Quantum Tint Solutions, Racecraft, Simulations, SimSpec Engineering, and Bay 21. Thanks to my son Daniel. Thanks to Josh Tracy, who has been kind enough to lend me his sim while I've been stuck in Australia over COVID for the last 2 years. Hopefully get home shortly. Otherwise I wouldn't be here. I was able to jump in his sim and have a bit of fun. To you, Luke, this would be it is a great series, and Ben has done a fantastic job, and thanks to Luke Holland and Cameron Veacock for stepping in and taking the reins while Luke has a deserved break. But it's one of the best series probably I've seen in my short time back at back into iRacing there, and without your production, mate, it wouldn't be the same. You do a fantastic job, especially with your crazy busy schedule. It's we're all grateful for the time that you put into the V8 Vets as well. So yeah.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, hopefully it all goes back to normal after this week coming up. So one more delayed broadcast, then I can get back to what will be a much better lifestyle and hooking in with a live Thursday night, of course, and then a Friday replay. So looking forward to that. Thanks everyone for your patience, and thanks for coming in for a chat tonight. Simon, well done. Pete too.
Thanks very much.
Cheers, mate. All right, that's it for tonight. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. That was split 2 from last Thursday night. We will have hopefully split 1 and split 2 on Sunday coming up at the end of this week. So good luck to all the drivers that race on Thursday. That's the final, well, the one and only broadcast for RACESTARS TV this week. But when we do come back for that big one on Sunday, it will be our 600th broadcast. So Darren Crosby tonight, too strong. M1 Racing, you got the win. Well done, Darren. Well done, Simon. Well done, Rick. That's your top 3. Till next time, good night.